Today, we're going to talk about the one obsession that will carry you very far in marketing your business. So, normally in life, obsessions are kind of discouraged. If you become obsessed with something, it can be distract from your goals in life. It can kind of create fixations on things that aren't necessarily healthy. So, generally, as people or as me, I try to avoid being obsessed with things. But there's one thing in your business that you should become obsessed with because the people who I see succeed through really powerful marketing, they are obsessed with this one thing, which is how their avatar thinks. I use the terms avatar and target market interchangeably. They are the same thing. They are the ideal buyer for your customer. And becoming obsessed with how that person thinks is really a valuable thing. What happens with a lot of entrepreneurs when they are new is they are very obsessed with themselves and how they want to help and what they want to do, their products, their services, the program they want to map out, how it all works. Like if you're a coach, like whether you have 16 weeks and there's modules and group coaching calls or one-to-one calls, whatever. If you have physical products, this is absolutely very common where you're obsessed with your products, what they look like, how they're packaged, why you started making these products, what ingredients you used. It's all about me, 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 me. And the problem is that when someone new comes into your world as a prospective client or customer, they don't care about you. They don't know you. They don't, they're not being rude. There's just like a lot of people in the world. So they're not coming into your, what we call your ecosystem. Well, marketers love jargon. Your ecosystem. They don't care about you yet. They don't know who you are. So listening to your story and why you are doing the things you do, they don't care yet. They will care. We'll talk about that on Funnel Friday. Right now, in the beginning, they care about one thing, which is themselves, their problems, their aspirations, their dreams, their fears, their worries, their to-do list, their everything that a normal person has going on in their life. That is what your prospect cares about the minute they enter your funnel. So this is where the key to effective marketing comes into play is how can you get someone's attention? Usually you can get their attention by talking to them about something that is on their mind. Really good marketers put ads in front of people and that person is like, "Oh my God, it's like they read my mind." I had many things that I did wrong when I had a coaching business for soap makers, but one thing I absolutely did very well was I had great marketing that my target market, my prospective clients connected with. I got a lot of messages where people told me it was like you read my mind, and that was freaky, and made me want to talk to you. And I had something in common with that market because I was one of them, so it was a little bit easier. But at the same time, I had to make it very clear that I was not my target market because my if the target market was me, they would have taken the same path as me and not necessarily needed to hire me. So you want to make sure that you are not your target market, especially if you are a do-it-yourself or a crafter and you are making physical products. Remember, your target market, if you attract you, you'll attract other people who do it yourself and make their own products. And if you want to have a high margin business where you are selling products at a profit, you don't want to be attracting do-it-yourselfers because they will be like, "Oh, cool. Oh, well, these are kind of expensive. I think I can make this myself." Now, if you are a coach, you might have a lot in common with your market. You might be able to relate to them, but you ideally want to define your avatar after an actual client or somebody that you have worked with so that you can get out of this tempting habit of thinking you are your market and just defining everything about what you think and what you want. Because what happens is when you become the business owner, you start to worry about your business and your products and how you do things and your sales goals and all that stuff. And that becomes your focus. And that is not the formula for amazing marketing. So this is why your obsession should be your avatar. And how do you become obsessed with something? Well, we focus on what we think about. So if you're, let's say you have a journal or planner, if you are planning out your tasks for the week or the month, make sure you're spending time researching your target market. You're spending time talking to people is the best way. Do calls. I mean, if you are a new coach, you will find out very quickly that the most valuable way for you to learn what is going on with your target market is to take sales calls and take them with anybody in the beginning. Like they don't necessarily have to be a perfectly qualified prospect in the beginning. But then over time, as you're taking lots and lots of calls and you are doing a better job at vetting to make sure you're not getting on the phone with people who aren't a good fit, that is your most valuable source of insider information. Take all the objections. Maybe people didn't want to join because the program was too expensive, or they were scared it wasn't going to work for them, or they had some other concern that they didn't believe they could, they didn't believe they had what it takes to succeed. Take all of those tidbits that you get and use those to create your marketing. And so when you tell stories are a very powerful way to market. You are telling a story about your customer that they feel like you are talking about them. Now, I know I have some people who are in this group who sell physical products, and this is one of the challenges that comes when you make your products first, and then you're like, okay, cool, I got all these products, I like making them because I'm a crafter. Now I wanted to find this business, and I have to figure out who my target market is. Just know that it's going to feel backwards because it is backwards. That the best brands define their avatar first, who is a segment of people that they want to work with. Then they say, what does this segment of people need? How can I create products that will serve their needs? So you're not trying to fit a bunch of random products into a target market after the fact. You want to start first. And that might mean if you are a product maker, you have to drop products and stop selling them. If they don't align with your target market, you're going to have the discipline to let go. It was a huge mistake that I made with mine because I liked making stuff. And to me, the most fun part of that whole business was formulating new products and coming up with new ideas and making new designs. And while that was fun and I should have let myself do that, I didn't have to turn all of those things into products that I sold. Way too many products. And that is something I also see. Fortunately, coaches are better about that. They don't tend to have like 11 coaching programs in the beginning, where product makers tend to have way too many products very, very quickly. You will succeed. You'll be able to scale if you are efficient. And with manufacturing, the fewer products you have, the easier it will be to scale. So back to your avatar, your ideal customer, make that your obsession. You want to know, if I were to ask you, what is your target market's biggest fear? You should know that. If I were to ask you, what is your target market's biggest belief that holds them back? You should know that. What is the number one reason why they don't buy your products? You should know that. And if you don't have the answer to them, that becomes your assignment, is to find that out and talk to people and do research. Now, don't fall into this endless trap of like, oh, I'm so busy, I'm working all the time, because you're basically screwing around on Facebook, looking up stuff in groups. This has to be something that you do as like you dedicate some time to it, but it doesn't come in front of the money making activities for your business. Sorry, I'm getting a little coachy here. I still do a lot of business coaching. But I wanted to talk about, just to wrap this up, if you are a marketer for your brand or someone else's, you need to make sure that you will become obsessed with your avatar, and that all of the marketing that you sit down to write, whether those are emails to your list or Pinterest pins or Facebook posts, they should be centered around the conversation going in your avatar's mind. What are they thinking about? What are they worrying about? What do they feel like is the biggest problem that they have? And I promise you, it's not your products and it's not you and it's not your brand. So you want to meet them where the conversation is going on in their head. What are they thinking about? How can you connect with them around that? It might actually have nothing to do with your product. So, like right now, I'm doing some work for a couple of fitness coaches. So they have basically a weight loss service, and the way that we're kind of getting their attention is on recipes, like recipes for weight loss. Now they're not in the recipe business. They don't sell recipes. They have something to give away, but that is a great way to get attention of somebody that wants to lose weight, is talk to them about what they believe is the number one problem holding them back, which is like, oh, I'm eating crappy food. If only I ate healthier meals, then I would be able to lose weight. There is some truth in that. And so that is how we are contacting or connecting with some of the um, fitness client prospects on Pinterest is through diet recipes. So, and this came about because we understand what is this avatar worried about? What do they think is the solution to their problem? They think that if they only had some more diet recipes, they would have the answer to the problem that they need. That's not the only strategy that works, but for Fit Pros, but it does kind of get into the mindset of what does your avatar believe they need, and then you connect with them around that belief. And no matter what you're selling, you want to go through this exercise of mapping out what it is your avatar needs. And this is where this kind of just goes into like, if this becomes your obsession, then anytime you see something that someone in your target market says or writes or whatever, you'll just notice it because now it's like if you go and you buy a new car and you think it's so original and then you start to see that car everywhere, you kind of want to do the same thing. If you become obsessed with your avatar, anytime you see somebody who looks like them or acts like them or talks like them, then you'll start to notice what they are telling you, and that goes into the vault of avatar information that you use to create good marketing. So stop worrying about yourself and your products, focus more on your avatar, and your marketing will be more effective. So, got any questions about this? Drop me something in the comments, and I will do my best to help you out. See ya.